We all like hunting for trophies. So today we're going on a trophy journey where I try to get all the trophies leading to and including the platinum if it's available for a specific game. Today we're taking a look at Need for Speed Shift was released in 2009, developed by Slightly Mad Studios and published by EA Games. The premise of this game is similar to Need for Speed Pro Street, but this one focuses much more on simulation, car handling, and physics. The cockpit view gives you a more immersive experience of driving sports cars on a track. The feeling of G-force is key here, and the sound effects, especially when crashing, make a huge impact, literally, to the player. As we take a look at the list of trophies to plan out our journey, we see a pattern in the way they are grouped. We have career trophies, driver level trophies, and badge trophies. For the career ones, all we gotta do is progress through the story and they will pop eventually. The driver level trophies are pretty self-explanatory. We need to reach level 50 and each 5 or 10 levels we get a trophy. Now, the badge trophies are a bit more tricky. By doing certain actions during the race, you will earn a minor badge. Perfect launch? Got a badge. Clean overtake? Badge. By doing a multitude of these actions depending on what it requires, we will eventually earn a bronze, silver, gold, or epic badge. Stay with me now. We have a total of 27 badges in the game, 6 related to tracks, 6 related to races, 9 in career, and 6 in online. In order to earn the Epic Master Trophy, we need to obtain 20 epic badges. Because the online servers got turned off in 2021, the online badges are unobtainable, which leaves us with the 21 from single player. One of them requires us to earn all stars in all events, which is gonna be quite difficult to say the least. That being said, we'll concentrate on the other 20, and yes, this will be a grind. I just hope it will mostly be a fun one. Now that we know what awaits us, let's start our journey. In our first race, we go through a test lap at Brands Hatch, where the game will analyze our driving skills and suggest several settings. I don't know what most of these things are, but I do know that the game suggests a medium AI difficulty, which seems fine. Not sure if the difficulty has an impact on the gained experience and cash, but we'll leave it as it is. So let's just accept them and move on. Right after, we go on our first real race on the same track, and yeah, I hit a wall already. Right from the start, we had the opportunity to see what happens during a crash. The image gets all blurry and imitates the feeling of dizziness after such a hard collision. Very nice attention to detail. We won this race and earned ourselves our first trophy of this journey, Trial by Fire, for completing the NFS Live pre-race event. We then go through a cutscene that summarizes our ultimate goal, the NFS World Tour and the Championship. We will go through many races in order to achieve that goal. We won 40k in that last race and we now get to choose our first car. I'm a big fan of Honda vehicles myself, so naturally we are getting the S2000. I do appreciate the fact that there's quite the variety of vehicles to choose from. We unlock our first tier 1 event group, Race Coalition, and we get to learn some more about how we will level up. We earn experience by doing certain actions, some of these actions also earning us the badges mentioned earlier. Each action is labeled as an aggressive or precise one. For example, doing a dirty overtake is obviously labeled as aggressive, a clean overtake as precise. Regardless, we need to do both to earn badges, but at this point I wasn't concentrating on them at all during my story progress because there are quite a lot, and I thought it would be more important to learn the game and its aspects than earning badges. This decision was a big mistake, I can tell you that. As we go through our first race with our own car, the game actually seems really fun. It's challenging, but so far it feels like a good kind of challenge. As we won this race, we earned the trophy, One Small Step, for winning our first event. We went through some more races, upgraded our vehicle's handling to hopefully help us maneuver the car a little bit better, and during the customization process, I can see that the game has quite a good amount and it's definitely better than Undercovers. It also has quite a complex tuning settings, so for the people who really want to beat leaderboard times, this can definitely feel useful. As we finished another race, we earned another trophy, Driving Rookie, for reaching driver level 2. We unlocked invitational events which give us the chance of trying out other vehicles. For our first one, we are driving our good old friend from Undercover, the Lotus Elise. By finishing some more events and our last one in the Race Coalition series, we got the trophy Road to Success for unlocking Tier 2. For each unlocked tier, we'll get more vehicles, more racetracks, and some more event types. We got second place in one event, But we still got a trophy here, Driving Amateur, for reaching driver level 5. Naturally, we restarted this event because we don't take seconds, and we eventually won this as well. We participated in a dual invitational event where we drove a Dodge Viper, which is also our first race with a much faster car, and we failed miserably. This race was very bad. It was much more difficult than I expected, and one of the reasons for that was my controller. Up until this point, I've been using either the DualShock 4 or the DualSense to play PlayStation 3 games. The problem with those two controllers, however, is that the triggers are not pressure sensitive when connected to the PS3. This means that the vehicle will accelerate all the way through the moment you even tap the trigger, which in a game like this is not ideal. This means that we'll need to use our DualShock 3 controller, which we did, and it's a little bit better. The problem is that my DualShock 3 is, quite worn out. It still works really well though, and it helped tremendously throughout this journey. By finishing a time trial race, we earned the trophy Change of a Lifetime for unlocking Tier 3, which is funny because we didn't even finish all Tier 1 races yet. Progressing through the story is quite fast, to be honest. This is also probably thanks to us unlocking a lot of stars throughout the races we participated in. As we were doing a time attack event, I noticed that the soundtrack of this game is very good, and it wasn't as surprising to me after seeing that Mick Gordon is one of the composers of it. As we finished this event, we got the trophy Driving Semi-Pro for reaching driver level 10. We went ahead to race in the last Tier 1 event, earning us the trophy Bronze Earner for earning 5 bronze badges. Now, before moving on to Tier 2, we're gonna do some invitational events, and the first one is the Bugatti Veyron race. Oh boy! Not only does the game have us race one of the fastest cars here, but it also laughs in our face by challenging us to perform a clean lap. Yes, in the only lap we have for this race. Bruh. I naturally failed the objective in the first corner, but hey, at least we got a badge, right? This race definitely showcases what it means to drive such a fast vehicle. It was very fucking cool and intense. It was difficult to get used to the speed of this car, especially after racing our S2000, but in the end it was quite enjoyable. Aside from that bump at the beginning, I definitely didn't crash that much. We will now go ahead and start doing Tier 2 events, and for this we will need 2 types of vehicles. One for races and one for drift.
Drift? What do you mean, drift?
Yes, we will also get to do drifting events, but right now we'll focus on races, and for that we're buying the GTR. We went through several events, and overall I think the game itself looks really good. There's a good amount of detail in the vehicle's interior and exterior. When using the hood camera you can see the reflections look quite nice. I think it holds up pretty well. I'm sure the PC version looks even better. I attempted to do an invitational event on the spot track using the Carrera GT, and it went so fucking bad. This was the worst race so far. I tried to do it for about half an hour, and it went so terribly that I had to give up and leave it for some other time. We then won a race by a literal millisecond, which was insane, and we eventually received the trophy, the final countdown for unlocking Tier 4. We don't really care about Tier 4 right now, as we still have Tier 2 races to go through, and by doing some of them, we also got the trophy, Silver Earner, for earning 5 silver badges. Right after that trophy, we also unlocked our first rival challenge event against Chet Ismet, the Turkish Terrier. We went through a couple of duel races against him, winning both and earning us the trophy, Bronze Hunter, for earning 10 bronze badges. We got to do our first drift event, and it went as bad as you'd think. The game also glitched for the first time. I got to start the race before I got the green light, and the points didn't even count. Several drift events, and 1,000 years later, I won just 3 of them because I kept restarting. They're quite difficult and frustrating to learn. At this point, I also realized that besides the original soundtrack that we have, there's also licensed music that runs when doing drift events. And yes, as always, the music choices of Need for Speed games is a really good one. By looking in the options menu, the music during races can also be turned on, but it's off by default, which is a great decision because obviously you want to concentrate on the race itself. After winning another race, we raised the necessary amount of stars to finally unlock the NFS World Tour, which is composed of 3 events. As we start this race, we see that it really isn't that difficult. Either the opponents are skilled according to the player, or it doesn't matter that much what car you're using. I left the race, and by looking at the event details, yeah, the only restriction is that you need to use a tier 1 through 4 vehicle, which is basically any vehicle, and the opponent will most likely scale according to you. We started the event again, going through the whole race, and of course I fucked up right at the end by messing up the last corner and got 2nd place. This will be a recurring thing throughout this whole journey. After quite some lengthy races, we won the US series of the NFS World Tour. We go ahead to fully upgrade our skyline, after which I see that we unlocked a Works upgrade. At this point I had no idea what that meant, I probably missed some informational text somewhere, but we go ahead to invest into that too, and it looks amazing. It most likely drives like that as well. Right after that, we got into our next NFS World Tour event. During this race, I fell in love with this car. The handling is immaculate and the speed is just right. Even so, I did manage to break my windshield for the first time in a crash. This allowed me to notice and appreciate the vehicle damage that is visible, and it looks really good. As you increase your speed, the game really does a good job of making you feel like driving fast. This is thanks to the sound and the depth of field, focusing more and more on the track seen through the windshield. Finishing some more World Tour events, we eventually earned the trophy Driving Pro for reaching driver level 20. Because we just did the spa course with the layout in our short-term memory, I went ahead and did the invitational event from before, driving the Carrera GT. Since I'm used to driving faster cars now, we should be able to finish this up, and we certainly did. Not only did I win, but there was a significant difference between me and the racer on 2nd place. The sense of progress is real. With all that out of the way, it is time to go for the NFS World Tour Championship, where we race on the same track where it all began, Brands Hatch. This event was surprisingly easy, but it was quite enjoyable. As we won this, we earned the trophy NFS Live World Champion for winning the NFS Live World Championship. So that's about it for the story. The story was... yeah, it was there. Nothing too fancy, but I assume it was added just for the purpose of giving you something to do with the hopes of maybe finding pleasure in simulation driving. If at this point you don't feel like wanting to beat lap times, master corners or whatever, then maybe it's not for you. It definitely isn't for me. Now, we still have some more trophies to get, and at this point all that's left is related to either driver level or badges. By looking at the badges we earned up to this point, yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. The ones that seem to be a challenge right now are the manufacturer loyalty ones, where we need to rack up the mileage of 3 vehicles in each region to 160 kilometers. We only have 1 so far, the Skyline from the Japan region that we've been abusing, so we still need to get 8 vehicles there. We're gonna get the Cayman S for the European stuff, and we're gonna color it into something that's slickback.
No, it's a pimp named Slickback.
Would drive. Time to race. We managed to win against a rival, and the sore loser that he is, crashed very passive-aggressively into us at the end there. We made the most American car ever, but unfortunately its performance was pretty shit. Probably because of the way it looks, so we had to switch to a Camaro SS with the hopes that it's gonna be better. Sorry, Mustang. As we finished an event while getting a Corner Master badge, we received the trophy Silver Hunter for earning 10 silver badges. By doing an invitational event where we had to beat some lap times, we earned the trophy Bronze Collector for earning 15 bronze badges. So, I have a question here for the people who play this game. Do you like the drifting events? Because to me, at this point, they seemed horrendous. The learning curve feels way too large for this type of event, so large that it's not even fun. To me, these races felt more like restart events than drift. I restarted more than I drifted. But on the flip side, 5,743 restarts later, I think I finally got it. Despite Despite some crashing here and there, I actually did pretty well and it finally felt like I progressed. It seems like you need to accelerate hard to start the drift and manage the acceleration as well as the steering as you go through with this. Easier said than done, but I don't think it's worth it, especially if you only want the platinum, as only a handful of these events are necessary for that. As I go through more races, I try to get as many perfect launches as possible. The drifting definitely got better. I can now finish an event on the first try with the maximum amount of stars. I am now the motherfucking drift king. We finished a time attack event using our Camaro SS and we earned the trophy Gold Earner for earning 5 gold badges. We went through some more races to rack up that mileage on this vehicle and we eventually also got the trophy Silver Collector for earning 15 silver badges. As we passed the 160 kilometers threshold for the Camaro, we switched to another car, the Z06. We won some races with it and earned us the trophy Driving Veteran for reaching driver level 30. Many moments later, we had to go through some endurance races. These are basically the largest races in the whole game, quite lengthy and not very easy. Remember I said earlier that me fucking up at the end of a race will be a recurring thing? Well, 15 minutes later into this race, I fucked up in every possible way, so much so that in the end I got 5th place. To stay on a positive note, because I did finish the whole race, the kilometers I got on this vehicle will be saved, meaning that we progressed on one of the more important badges. We eventually won this race, but it was extremely difficult due to the length of the event and the rubber banding of the rival that kept coming into our rear view mirror. Overall, it was very challenging. The NFS World Tour was nothing compared to this. After 17 minutes of another endurance event, where I basically had to hold the R2 button at all times because during 99% of the race I was at top speed, this is what my finger looked like. This game is brutal at times. While initiating the next endurance event, I have a question for the developer who designed this.
Who hurt you?
This race was a complete mess. Of course I eventually got past 2 laps before finishing the event, but I got lucky and managed to win. We beat another rival by using some unethical means. And by earning some more badges, we also received the trophy Gold Hunter for earning a total of 10 gold badges. We won some more events and we eventually got the trophy Epic Earner for earning 5 epic badges. We are now reaching the epic badge territory. By going through another rival race, I noticed something odd regarding the AI. Firstly, it's really fun to crash into them. But what I wanted to point out is this. For some reason, if you stop in front of them, they will just stop. What is this? Anyway, we went on to win this race, got to do some more drift events, eventually earning another trophy, Driving Hero for reaching driver level 40. We then initiated the last rival event of the career and thus earning us the epic badge for defeating all rivals, getting us one step closer to our epic badge trophy. We naturally went through some more races, doing a very clean overtake of several opponents. We managed to win the endurance race we lost earlier using the Murcielago this time around, which earned us some more epic badges and another trophy, Epic Hunter for earning 10 epic badges. We have now earned pretty much all obtainable career badges, minus the Star Collector one, which means that it's now time for the real grind. First things first, we'll set the AI difficulty to hard in order to earn the badges related to it. We'll be using the Lexus LFA for this, trying to get the necessary mileage for another Japanese vehicle. The shortest track I found was Russell Creek, so we'll use that for these badges. Naturally, we got all the wins eventually, earning us the epic badge, so now we can safely turn the difficulty down. From here on out, we'll concentrate on getting clean races, corner mastering, and dirty overtakes. As we went through the Arumber track and got a clean race on it, we earned the trophy Bronze Master for earning our 20th bronze badge. We of course got some more gold badges as well, and we also got the trophy Gold Collector for earning 15 gold badges. Okay, so I initially thought that the loyalty manufacturer or the dirty overtakes would be the most annoying badges to get. Here comes the Nordschleife Corner Master. The problem is that on this track, which takes us a whole 8 minutes to finish one lap, we have a corner that we didn't get to master at the middle of it as well as right at the beginning. For the latter one, the problem is that the track begins to evaluate us the moment we start the race, and we don't have enough speed for it to pass, which means that we need to either do 2 laps or find another way. After some Google searches later, I found out that there's the Bugatti Veyron event where, because there are a lot of cars, we started at the back, which allowed us to get enough speed for the proper evaluation, and it worked. Yes! 1 down, 1 to go. As I go to finish this race in order for the last corner master to register, I managed to make the other corner pass as well, and now we're completely done with the largest track in the game. Let's move on. We eventually mastered all track's corners, and now it's time to get those clean races. For these, all we gotta do is go through the whole track without touching the grass, crashing into walls or hitting other cars. It doesn't matter if we win or not. We finished the one at Glendale Club, and we also earned the trophy Silver Master for earning 20 silver badges. When I did the hard AI difficulty races, I thought that the Russell Creek track was the shortest and fastest, but apparently Miyatomi is actually much better. Not only is it faster, but we can also get perfect launches here because Russell Creek was actually a rolling race. We progressed through the clean races, and as we finish all the ones in Europe, we earned the trophy Epic Collector for earning 15 epic badges. We only have one more clean race to do at Laguna Seca, and by finishing that up, we now got all the badges in the track category, and it looks like we also got the Japanese Manufacturer Loyalty Epic badge. Not sure when that happened, but hey, I'm not complaining. The perfect launches and the dirty overtakes are what we're concentrating on right now. For this, we'll use the Miyatomi track from earlier with 15 other opponents, which should give us about 10 dirty overtakes, give or take, as well as a perfect launch. Speaking of perfect launch, as soon as we finished the race and reached the 150th, we got the trophy Gold Master for earning 20 gold badges. Now we only need, oh god, 100 more perfect launches. That's 100 races at least. Well, the good thing is that this track is pretty fast. I started to experiment with other vehicles to at least make these boring bits a bit more entertaining, and as I was using the Ford Cosworth, this car is like a bulldozer, dude. Every single car I hit fast enough pretty much gets demolished. It racks up experience like crazy, and almost every overtake is a dirty one. We eventually got all 500 dirty overtakes, and all that's left are the perfect launches. I don't know how many I have left, but what I do know is that it's less than 100 and more than 50. We're setting the Miyatomi track on 1 lap to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Race after race, and we got to the 200 perfect launches minor badge, meaning that we only have 50 more to go. Several Trailer Park Boys episodes later, we got the necessary experience to earn the trophy Driving Legend for reaching driver level 50. Not long after, as we start the race with a perfect launch, we see the one and only notification that we've been waiting for. We go ahead to pass the finish line, earning us the trophy Epic Master for earning 20 epic badges, as well as the Platinum Trophy. Platinum Trophy? Very creative. For unlocking all Need for Speed Shifts trophies. We are now part of the 0.8% of people to have earned this platinum, which is quite insane and not surprising to be honest. Throughout this whole journey, I felt like this game is definitely not the kind of game that is catered for everyone. Which is kind of odd because I usually see Need for Speed as being the type of racing game that is for everyone. If you look at all these badges, a person who is into simulation driving and really enjoys these types of games will most likely earn most, if not all of them, naturally. This felt like a grind to me because after the enjoyment started to fade, which happened at around driver level 30, I was in it only for the trophies. It's also an old game as well. Most people will probably play Gran Turismo 7 at this point if they're looking into simulation driving on PlayStation. Regardless, the game was fun for me, much more fun than I expected. I loved the challenges, I loved the sensation of driving these cars on tracks, the way it makes you feel when you crash, and the damage displayed on the vehicle. I would definitely recommend trying it out, but I think you need to have a minimal interest in cars and this kind of driving in order to stay motivated throughout this platinum journey. Otherwise, you'll reach that point where you force yourself to earn a trophy, which I strongly recommend against. And I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that YouTube shit. With all that being said, see you in the next Platinum adventure.